Had to go shave. Dress and grooming standards, you know. All right.
Kalani, it took LaBelle 3 years to have as many close games as you've had in 5 weeks. What's it been like to live through that?
I'm good with the close ones if we win. So yeah, 2 out of the 5 I'm happy with. But I'd be a lot happier if we played clean on all the phases. You know what I mean? So I said it before, just looking forward to our guys making that happen. And I was really happy with the offense and the progress they made, especially when there's a lot of people questioning them a few weeks ago. And so just excited about that. And the defense has done some great things in the past. So we'd like to return to that. And the special teams have been solid. To have 2 kickers be able to kick game-winning field goals is huge for us. And, just need to play a complete game as a group.
How much can you attribute that defensive showing to how good Toledo was, or did you find from watching film a lot of problems?
Yeah, Toledo's a really good team, and so I think you have to give them a lot of credit. Quarterback Logan's a good player, and he's done some great things, and the scheme has been consistent. So they've had the same offense running for a while, even though they changed coaches. The offensive coordinator became the head coach. But, last year they went into Arkansas and beat Arkansas. They beat Iowa State. They had a great season last year. And this year they're doing a lot of similar things. Defensively, I think they led the country in 3 and outs and stuff like that. So they're a good team, solid team, and great coaches on that staff. But we didn't help ourselves out with some of the mistakes that we made defensively. And a lot of it was just not great discipline on our defense. And in order to play this type of style of defense, we need more guys to believe and to just play the right technique. And so some guys freelance a bit, and then it's just like one guy makes a mistake or try to do his own thing, and they just happen to capitalize on it right away. And it was like the worst that could happen on every play that guys made mistakes, and they capitalized on it. There's times where a guy makes a mistake here and there, and then no one really sees it. This one, we had way too many breakdowns, and most of it was technique. And then I wasn't really happy with the fundamental part of the tackling, and that was a lot having to do with the technique and body position. So obviously, when you're not great with your technique, it's going to affect tackling.
The inexperienced cornerback position got attacked a lot. You talked about guys getting baptized by fire. And What are they doing? What do they need to do now moving forward?
Well, it's part of football, I don't mind that. He didn't. You're talking about Wilcox. He didn't do great technique in a lot of the big plays, but the one I think they threw a skinny post on him. Yeah, he was staring at the quarterback, and his eyes are bad, and he didn't have great body position, but he had a chance to make a tackle. And I don't think corners are 100% every game, but when you do make a mistake, we have to solidify it and make tackles and make sure that we, even on the one that they threw, it was a broken coverage, and Micah Hanman was supposed to be on the top on one of the long touchdown throws, and even then make that tackle, and we can still rally back and play. So just disappointed in the big plays that turn into big scores, and we're going to give a few plays here and there. I'd like to give no plays away, but you can't make matters worse by missing tackles.
You chalking part of it up to inexperience for some of the Chris Wilcox being a true freshman?
Yeah, but Troy Warner's a true freshman. He did fine earlier in the year, and Chris has got all the speed and the talent, and he just had you just got to trust the training and trust the stuff he does in practice. He's got all the skills to do it, but everyone's dealing with injuries or issues, hurting their depth. These guys have to be able to step up, and I thought, to be honest with you, Diane Lake had some struggles early in the season, and he's stuck with it, and he had a great game, So these guys got to keep fighting, keep working with what we're teaching them, and it's going to be okay. But we're fortunate to win this game, and we talked about creating havoc and disrupting the quarterback's timing. We only did that on 2 plays, and we were able to get picks off of it. So Harvey was able to get some disruption and get some pressure on the quarterback and caused 2 interceptions, one that he tipped to Diane and the other one that Kai made a great play on. So If anything, we can credit our guys for making 2 big plays because we talked about that, and our offense not giving any turnovers up. So that worked in our favor. But if we want to play better defense and if we want more success, we can't rely on trying to score 55 points every week.
When either the offense or the defense has a rough night, what is your approach with your coordinators who are new to these jobs? How do you try to help them?
Oh, they're fine. The coordinators are great. So I've said it before. We've gone against the first 4 games of these big-time coaches and coaching staffs that had long tenures at their school, and everyone was questioning the coaching experience back then. The first 4 games, and obviously the coaching experience. Where was that issue? In those games, and now it has no issues now either. Coach Sitake is a great coordinator, and just like I thought he would be, and he has great coaches in Ed Lamb, Steve Kafusi, and Gennaro Guilford. So those guys are capable of coaching their guys up. We just need to make sure we get the right guys on the field and that they execute it the right way. And if they don't, then we probably need to pull some guys earlier than we did in the game. But I like to think guys can just keep working through it. But it's one of those things that you got to deal with, and we'll work through it.
You talk about needing more havoc and disruption. We talked about that before. What can you do in the middle of the season to kind of develop guys or get to the point where you're getting more of that in the backfield?
D-line just has to play the game like they practice, and we'll be fine. So all the stuff that we do in our drills and all the stuff that we didn't practice today, all that carries over into the game. And when they get into the game, they have to do it the right technique. I mean, they have to. Otherwise, it's not going to work. This defense will only work if the D-line dominates the line of scrimmage. And you can only dominate the line of scrimmage with the technique that we're teaching. Effort and hard work and all that stuff, really, it gets you places, but that's already a given. The technique and fundamentals of the game at the line of scrimmage has to be physical, and you have to be able to do what we're asking them to do. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
I think Kai Nakua is tied for the nation's lead in interceptions. How does he compare to some of the great safeties you've coached, like at Utah?
Oh, he's up there. I mean, he's big and he's physical, but he's got great instincts, which is why he finds the ball all the time. He had a bunch of interceptions last year, so I can't sit there and say, "Oh yeah, we're teaching him to pick the ball." We're doing that with everybody. He's a great player, and he has natural feel for the game. He played quarterback in high school, which always helps out too. But he's a hitter, and he's definitely got a lot of upside, and he can play any position on the field, and that's why naturally he's a bigger guy, so you think he can play linebacker, but he's physical enough, but he's also fast and smart enough to play safety, and so and he's a great leader for our team, So it's nice to have him on the field. I wish he had another year and could play for us some more safety, but we rely on him heavily, and he could have had another pick if he had a half a game that was taken away from him. So.
The offensive line seemed to step it up. What were they doing to give Jamal so many holes?
I think Coach Empey's done a great job with the O-line. I mean, we got him bigger and got him stronger, but assignment-wise, they were able to get on blocks and get a body on body. And when you allow Jamal to just run and people are trying to tackle him with their arms, it's not going to work out too well for them. He's got great vision. Jamal does a great job setting up the blocks, and being a former fullback, I'd love to block for a guy like that. That just is where he's supposed to be, and then breaks big ones. And then, like I said, I think Jamal talked about it before, just the blocking from all the guys on the field. That was able to spring him for touchdowns. But he's a special one. We thought that going into the season, and he's going to have to have a lot of big gains like that to help us win.
What do you know about Michigan State, and what's kind of the challenge they pose for you?
Oh, great program, big, physical, strong guys. That Coach D'Antonio is a great coach. I mean, you look at the last 3 years, they've won a bunch of games. I want to say they're 36-5 or something like that. I can't remember. I was reading it somewhere, but they win Big Ten championships, and they were in the national playoffs last year. So they are a great team, and they're coming off some horrible loss that went overtime. But there's a lot of things to learn from that game. But I know they'll be anxious to get home and excited to play this game. So we're expecting a physical game, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're coming off a win, and our defense has something to prove. And so this is a great week to do it.
What can you learn from that Indiana game? Have you been able to watch film?
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, obviously don't jump up and land on somebody on a missed field goal helps, or maybe go for two, at the end of the game to win the game on the road. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Coach D'Antonio is a great coach, so I can't sit there and question what they did. But Indiana did some good things on defense, and I think the weather played a factor in the game a little bit, but it was an entertaining game. There's a lot of great games to watch on, over the weekend. A lot of good things to learn from the Tennessee Georgia game. There's a lot of those things that will help our guys. Help them with the football, with the football teaching, and so there's a lot of stuff that you can't simulate that you can see from others' experiences, other than your own, to become a better team.
Was the targeting call on Cy legit?
Yeah. I mean, I hate that happens, but it's hard to ask our guys to be physical, and then it's just hard to dictate that. But I understand the rules. Trust me, I've read it, and I'm about protecting people on the football team, so I'm on the field. So I'm not really. It was a bad hit, and maybe there's a way we could done it differently. I don't know if he could have stopped himself, but maybe we could just play smarter. I think he was a little late on it, but these guys were trying to get to him early, so it was a good call. Not all the calls refs make are bad.
Are you wary of the Michigan State team coming off 2 straight losses?
What's crazy, we're just focused on ourselves right now, because I'm more concerned that we haven't played a complete game on all 3 phases, so looking forward to doing that, especially now. And I know they're going to be ready to roll, because we expect everyone's best shot. I mean, there's a lot to play for still in college football, so we're excited to go to a place that's got a lot of tradition and a lot of success, and hopefully we can come out with a victory there.
The offense is the 2 wins that you've had. Jamal's run for 160 plus.
Mm-hmm.
When you faced the physical defenses in Utah and UCLA, wasn't able to get that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to do to be able to get him going against a physical team like a Michigan State?
Well, I think he was to his credit, he was a little banged up in the Utah game, and then that carried over, so now that he's healthy, and they're great defenses, so I don't want to take anything away from Utah's defense and from UCLA's defense, because they've obviously carried their defense over in some great performances. So having him healthy and 100% will be the key, and you see what he does when he's 100%. But also being able to rely on the other guys to spell him a little bit. Squally came in and got some runs, able to get Jamal a little rested so he can perform better in the second half. And we're going to need him and Algie to take the load off of all just being on Jamal.
How do you think your defense matches up against this smash mouth style football Michigan State plays, as opposed to the spread offense?
We'll find out. I mean, this is a great opportunity for them to show up and like you said, play smash mouth football. So we're excited for the opportunity and excited for the chance. So let's get going. It'll be it's a gut check time for our guys, especially for our D line. So we'll see what we're made out of.
How did Addison Pulsford kind of fill in for Butch? How did he kind of break
Oh,
out?
Adam.
Adam, sorry.
I got you. Yeah. So no. I mean, he did some really good things. Butch is obviously our starter. Butch is active, got great instincts, and Adam's a great player too. They're a little bit. You could tell that it was his first game of getting significant reps and being able to start and play a lot of reps. But I thought he worked well with Francis. They still did a few things that we wouldn't like to see show up on film, but I think that happens every week. But I think for the most part, he did a pretty good job filling in. There are a couple missed tackles that I know he'd like to have back, and that I think Butch would have done a better job at. So hopefully Adam gets it fixed and we can make more plays this next week.
You talk a lot about playing a complete game. What exact areas are you looking for that complete game to come through, or does it change week to week?
Well, I mean, it's all the 3 phases. I don't know if we do play a complete game and we play our best on offense, defense, and special teams. I'll find something else to complain about. So it's not like I'm ever going to show up and say, "Hey guys, my work here is done. That was a complete game that I was looking for." So no, I think that's our job as coaches, is just to kind of be jerks and find things to get better at. So I mean, I appreciate the guys' effort and the hard work, but there's things that I just think that if we play assignment sound football on defense, I don't know what that's going to mean as far as points and production, but it should be better than what we did this last week, you know. So it should be more like what we've done earlier when we've had success the first 3 or 4 weeks, you know. I mean, that's what we're looking for, and you know, but like I said, Toledo is a great offense, and you know that you can tell that they're really efficient and that they know how to work together, and I think they're a little underrated for the skill and the speed that they put on the field.
Last question.
Do you expect to have Butch and Troy available against?
I hope so. Yeah, I didn't expect you to ask that question, but no, I hope so. I mean, and, you know, I've said it before that this is everyone's tested with their depth. I think you can look at every team in college football that they don't have the guys that they have. I mean, people say, well, you know, you're down this many linemen on O-line and all this other stuff. We just have to worry about what we got going on. And, you know, we have enough players that we should be able to perform and get things done. So that's why we went out and recruited and signed some of the guys that we added our depth to and brought guys here that are new, but also trying to, you know, develop the guys that were here. So we'll find out. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to have all our guys ready to roll, but whoever's ready to go would just do it. What I won't do is sacrifice their longevity of their career and their health just for one game.
Thanks, Coach.
Cool. Okay, thanks, guys.